People, Deluded, I'm back again. It's always a pleasure speaking with you guys. So let me jump straight back into it. There is some transfer rumours and things like that to get onto with relation to Bellerin and Martinez, and I think technically Lacazette / Guendouzi as well as Socrates. But away from that, people, I'd like to crack on with a couple of things first. First and foremost, congratulations to what's-his-face, Maitland-Niles. He came off the bench and made his England debut, and it's been a good, it's been a good few weeks for Maitland-Niles. And for me, I hope he comes back buzzing of confidence. You've been playing well for Arsenal. Arteta's been gassing you. You've the highest honour as any English footballer. You've represented the nation. Get a taste of that, get a taste for this good life and trophies and being a regular, and come back with that same intent, Maitland. Shout out to Eddie for bagging for England's under-21s as well. He's had a good campaign, well, I say campaign, a good couple of days playing in these international fixtures, Eddie, and he's 21 now. You want to see him play a bit better and play with a bit more confidence. Away from that though, and Cedric now, Cedric said this, and I just felt it's not of any relevance to this vid, but I felt it was interesting, and it's nothing new. He said, "We are close. Myself, Hector, Tierney, also Kolasinac, Ainsley, and Bakayo. We are all working for each other. It's a big group. We spend time together working on crossing and finishing after training, the small details defensively." So yeah, man, obviously Maitland and Bakayo in ideal worlds, one's a centre mid, one's a winger, but they're all, all these names here are fullbacks, so they're all part of the fullbacks union. So it's nice to see there's some togetherness, and if everybody's pushing each other, they're gonna have a good game. Now Bellerin, if Bellerin's not in the news for PSG or Barcelona, he's been in the news for Forest Green Rovers. Barcelona and Bellerin, he's previously been there. He's been linked. Apparently, Barcelona is open to selling and replacing Semedo. Barca has already met with Arsenal and could sign the former La Masia right back Hector Bellerin for a fee close to 20 million euros. Now that's reported by Marca, and if we go based on the PSG links, and apparently Arsenal want more than 30 million or closer to 30 million at the very least, and someone saying that they can agree with Barcelona for 20, I don't think it makes sense. Ornstein said that as well, what I just said, and he also said that the finances we get are going to be put towards a midfielder. What's 20 million going to do for us? If we've got 25 million for Partey and we get this 20 million, obviously it's not as easy as that, and we slap it down for his release clause, cool, but surely, you can get a 30 million for Bellerin. I think Barcelona would be crazy to get rid of Semedo. Like, he had a tough time against against Bayern Munich, but I think he's a decent player. For me, there's no hope of it, but I would love a swap deal. You bring us Semedo, Semedo and Maitland-Niles fighting out for that spot, you can have Bellerin. It's all good, really and truly. I don't think replacing Bellerin with Semedo makes any sense, beyond the fact of, if you're trying to get back Barcelona's identity of Catalonian and things like that. Bellerin's accent might be from North London now, but he's a Barcelona man, so I get the logic, but it's just the reports aren't making any sense by Marcel. Moving away from that though, and a fellow Spanish speaker, however, he's from South America, Emi Martinez. It's a bit of toing and going with him. The latest you hear is that Villa have lodged a bid. They've lodged a bid closer to the 20 million Arsenal are looking for. Apparently the prospective contract that Aston Villa are putting towards him is more than what Arsenal are offering him for his new deal. Apparently Arsenal have been in talks with him over a new deal, but we're at loggerheads in relation to an agreement, I guess in terms of the financial package, as well as obviously, I wouldn't say assurances, but how he figures into the season with who is number one and whatnot, people. So we'll have to see, but from what I've seen, The Guardian has said Emi Martinez has been offered a new contract by Arsenal, but the parties remain some way apart. Negotiations are ongoing, but Villa are prepared to improve on Arsenal's financial package while promising that he'll begin as their first choice. Martinez rejected the latest offer, giving a boost to Aston Villa's chance of signing him. Arsenal recently received an enhanced offer this week. Martinez wants to stay at Arsenal, but is aware that regular starts are a priority, given that he turned 28 last week. Arsenal are considering a second Aston Villa offer believed to be in excess of 15 million for goalkeeper Emi Martinez. Arsenal have been in talks over a new deal for Martinez, but the contract offer is lower than Villa's. Now, again, people are going to see that and start crying. How are we offering him less competitive wages than Villa? And I get that, but there's also dynamics to be at play. If they're offering them 100 bags because of where they are as a club, with all due respect, we shouldn't be offering him 100 bags. I do think he should get a massive upgrade on the 20 he's earning a week now. Probably he should be aiming for 60, maybe even 70. try and concede at 50. I think that's a respectable sum if I'm Arsenal. Villa probably would offer him more, and again, if they're offering you more money and a platform to play, of course you're going to be enticed with that. You know, he wants to play at the Copa America and be Argentine's #1. At 28, it's not going to happen unless you're playing on a regular basis. I believe he could be Arsenal's #1, but you know, him and Leno, something's going to have to give. It's like De Gea and Dean Henderson. They can fight it out for now, but something is going to have to give eventually, people. I want Martinez to stay, but I fully understand if we sell him. I don't advocate selling him unless you're bringing in a plan B, where you've seen us link with Brentford keepers. And prior to Martinez actually getting a chance in the team, he was allegedly a player we was going to sell, and we did have, you know, plan B keeper targets in mind. So where's all those scouting reports gone? So if we're going to sell him, bring those back. But for me, the priority is to keep him. Now, you know, Juninho, sorry, people, has had a lot to say, people. He's spoken about more or less Lacazette, Edu, Arteta and Guendouzi briefly. He has also spoken about Aouar. He said, you know, Arsenal like Aouar, Arteta likes Aouar, City and Pep like Aouar. He said, you know, they've got Depay, Dembele. Well, I think, no, in fact, that was the president. The president said Dembele, Aouar, and who's the other one? Depay. Not all three will leave this summer, depending on what that says. But Juninho said, in January, I called Lacazette to chat a bit with him because he was having problems at Arsenal. And I said to myself, why not do a loan for 6 months with us where you enjoy yourself, play all the games and score the goals like you know how to? And again, you know, Lacazette, you know, his form was poor, he's out the side and things like that. It's a legitimate ask, but it wouldn't have made sense for us to get rid. He said, I get on well with Edu, we spoke on the phone, Aouar is really appreciated by Arteta. Guendouzi was discussed during the call. He's a great player, but he is the wrong profile. We are not interested in that at all. We cut the conversation, and he did go on to say, you know, they're not trying to do swap deals for players. You know, Guendouzi's a baller, and I do think they see his resale value, but that's not the sort of specific midfield role they're looking for, which is fair enough. You know, that's what they want to do. He's tried a cheeky offer for Lacazette. Well, he's confirmed what we know in that, you know, we want Aouar. He's of interest to Arsenal, but at the end of the day, it's going to cost a pretty penny. Put the money on the table, and with that, you know, Juventus apparently are interested while nothing official's been placed. City and all these other big clubs. So, yeah, man, the only thing we could sell to Aouar is that, not that we're a stepping stone, but it's like, you know, to go from Lyon to a Juventus or a Real Madrid, you know, he could do it, but it's a massive step. Do you get? Pjanic went from Lyon to Juventus, forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's a massive step and you see players fall. Is it wise, you know, either staying at Lyon for a couple more years or moving to Arsenal or somewhere like that, where to a degree we're an intermediate step and we've got the ambition to start challenging, you develop, and when you become your finest product, like you're as consistent as you can be, you move on. Because I do think people sensationalise Aouar. He's a baller, he's got all the potential, but I think if you watch the Liga and you saw a disappointing campaign from Lyon where they finished 7th, 8th, you did see hot and cold moments he could have done better. Like even it's different but Partey with Atletico Madrid. It seems like when people are linked with Arsenal, we move like these guys are the messiahs and they can't, you know, they can't do any wrong, and they're scoring 100 goals every game, they're keeping 100 clean sheets every game, and that's not the truth, people. Of course I want Aouar, but again it comes down to the money. Away from that, Socrates apparently is in negotiation with Arsenal to terminate his contract, and apparently is keen on signing a 2-year deal with Napoli. You know, their president has spoken about it. You know, we kind of knew this, and you know, if he can be in talks to follow Mkhitaryan to terminate his deal, then you know, ideally you want a transfer fee. But with Socrates, we're looking at the wages. You know, 32, not part of Arteta's plans in any aspirations at all. You know, doesn't fit what he wants to do in terms of playing out from the back. You know, mediocre player who's past it in terms of the wrong side of 30, unless you go to Italy really, where they throw more years on you. And you know, the contract, 95 bags a week. You know, getting 95 bags a week along with, I assume, Mkhitaryan's 100 plus, you know, with potentially Kolasinac is 100k, you know, you're helping yourself. You know, we know Ozil needs to be moved on, but you need to move out these little ones as well. El Nene as well, keen to see what happens. Personally, I think he stays because I don't know if there's been any level of interest taking him on permanently. I don't know if it makes sense to loan him out. Again, it wouldn't, unless we're letting him go permanently. It wouldn't make sense to let him go out on loan, especially when you haven't got this Partey or Aouar or any midfield body, because we are at this moment in time, people, in my opinion, still incredibly light in midfield. You know, you've still got Xhaka, shout to Xhaka. Sebastian's come back on loan for a second period. You've got Joe Willock, of course. Technically, Torreira and Guendouzi are still here, but there's still speculation over several players' futures. You know, if you get rid of El Nene, Guendouzi and Torreira and raise funds elsewhere, you have to bring in Partey or whoever. I don't want to keep saying Partey and Aouar, but two midfielders of some sort, because your bodies are light, you know. There's even a case to loan out Joe Willock, but I don't think he will. So yeah, man, that's all I wanted to say, people. There isn't much more to speak about in regards to anything else, really. So I'm going to get out of it. It's always a pleasure. DG.